Hey guys, it's me again, new video here. It's gonna be a little similar to my other video since honestly, I'm still in my feels, but it is what it is. But yeah, as you can read, the title says, love isn't real. What does that mean exactly, or what do I mean by that? I don't necessarily mean that love isn't like a real thing. It's more of that love in our current world, or the world or society that we've built for ourselves. Love doesn't exist in it. I think love is probably like the most natural feeling that a person can experience, and in our current society, which is unnatural. We've created all these things which essentially created more problems for ourselves, which turned love into kind of like a fake love or a husk of what love is. I also believe that love in general, in order to be true love, it has to be unconditional. There's no such thing as conditional love. And in society, love is conditional. It only exists in society. Conditional love. By conditional, I mean that you can only love someone or be loved by someone if you either provide something or they provide something in return. And we always see cases of people where obviously it's true love. Old people, you always see them who unconditionally love each other, but when you look at it, most of the people in society today, most of them are, that's not the case. For today's example, today's Valentine's Day. It's a special day for love day. Valentine's Day is pretty much just a day that we essentially created to obviously celebrate our love for our significant other. But I mean, when you really think about it, love doesn't have a date. You can love your partner, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, or someone on any day, any time, any day. And you can show that any time. Time doesn't even exist. We just created it. We created these dates. And we created February 14th as the designated date that we're supposed to love someone, or we're supposed to, show it even more than we already do. And you can do that any time. It's just, stupid. Like, Valentine's Day is apparently a day that we've created to apparently show our love for someone, and we have to participate in it in order to show our love for our significant other. Honestly, I think it's some bullshit that we just created that apparently shows love, quote unquote love. We buy all this consumerism shit that apparently shows our love for our significant other. It's such a stupid concept. I mean, you go to, like, for example, Target or any store, you see all these hearts, these chocolates, these roses, flowers, love letters, love cards, all of this consumerism slop that is supposed to be like showing your love for someone, or if you buy it for someone, it means that you love them. I think it's stupid, like, because, for example, there could be some guy out there that, buys his wife all of this stuff, buys her gifts, he shows her that he loves her by, taking her to expensive dates, or, exactly what I meant, like, buying her a bunch of this shit. But, like, he could literally not love her. He could be cheating on her in secret. The concept of it is just stupid, It's Valentine's Day is just a day where we just consume more, like, consume more of this shit that we don't need, essentially. I personally believe that you should be able to show your love, or you should be able to show your love in your own way, the way you want it to be. Each person, I think, is unique, and the way we show our love should be unique to each other. You shouldn't follow what society tells you. Just because our society tells you to buy all this shit because it shows that you love someone, you shouldn't do that. It's fucking stupid. That's something I have against society. It's because our world, again, we built it. It tells us how to love someone. It's kind of like you show your love, and there's some type of formula or pattern or like blueprint you have to follow in order to express yourself, express your love. This could be like giving flowers to someone. This could be giving flowers to, your significant other, buying them gifts, taking them to, expensive dates, doing specific things that apparently shows your love. But, that's not really what it's about, or, the concept of being a gentleman, I think that it doesn't exist. Again, you don't have to be a gentleman to someone in order to be, show your love. It's just a blueprint that we made for ourselves. Realistically, you can show your love however you want. You don't have to give, your significant other flowers or these materialistic things to show love, because that's not what love is. I mean, you don't even grow these flowers or, these roses yourself. You just buy them in a store to, like, you spent money on it. It's some consuming shit, you know what I mean? My point is that this isn't love. When you really think about, all of this shit fades away at the face of real love. It doesn't matter if you don't have all these things, because if someone loves you or you love them, these materialistic things don't matter. Materialistic shit doesn't even matter in general. And, again, if someone loves you, they love you. It doesn't matter if you give them flowers. They love you. You support them. You care for them. They care for you. They support you. Shit like that. And we force ourselves to believe that this is what love is. Therefore, we must do these things in order to feel loved, or so like, our significant other feels loved. Such a backward, idea, in my opinion. I'm not saying that, it's like, you have to do these things or you don't have to do these things, but yeah, that's not what love is. And then you look at it, social media has made it even worse. If you've been on social media, Instagram, TikTok, all this like fucking brain rot, whatever, you see all these red flags or icks or bare minimums that people are talking about. You have to be a specific person. You have to do something in order to be liked or whatever. I don't even know what the fuck it is. But if your significant other really breaks up with you because they found an ick in you, or a red flag, or they watched some fucking video of someone, telling them that you did something that's a red flag, that's so shallow. I mean, it's stupid. They're breaking up with you because of these things. Again, it's stupid fucking, world that we live in. In my opinion, if you do something like that, you never love someone in general. If you break up with them over fucking icks. But that's how, the world works. And a lot of people say it's only on social media, but I've experienced it. I've seen people experience it. Like, they break up over stupid shit. They argue over stupid shit that doesn't exist. And, now, people on social media these days, everyone's on social media these days, is what I'm saying. You consume this type of information, me and you, and since we consume this type of information, everyone consumes it. They produce this type of information. It's this cycle where, it's just this cycle of nonsense that goes around, Overall, I just believe that love's lost all its meaning. It used to be such a natural thing where two people meet each other and they form this unbreakable bond, No one told them about icks or, how one needs to give the other flowers or anything, because they knew that all that mattered was that they loved each other unconditionally. They cared for one another without, the need for materialistic items, materialistic things, because those things don't matter at all. I mean, nothing in life matters anyways. We all die, whether you believe in religion or not. It doesn't matter, again, because nothing in this life is forever. But yeah, I don't necessarily mean that love, isn't, real. It's just that we've essentially destroyed its meaning in this, world that we created. That's why you see a lot of people say that love isn't real. I don't necessarily believe that. It's just fucking destroyed. The meaning of it is destroyed. You know, what we call today as love isn't really love. It's conditional. Again, you know, I think that if you know, if you get off your phone, you go outside, you reconnect with people outside, or you know, you go to nature, you know, you smell the fresh air, you know, you meet people in real life, you know, fuck these dating apps, you know, you can, you know, form a bond with them without having these ideas that don't influence you, because those ideas don't mean shit, you know, these man-made beliefs don't matter, you know, and people let it, you know, people let those beliefs affect the relationship, you know. I think if you just don't let it affect you and your partner or anyone in your life that's important to you, then everything will be fine, you know. And I'm not saying that, you know, every couple you see today is like fucking fake. I'm just saying, like, on social media, man, like, it's really real. I've seen people in real life, I have friends, you know, who have relationships, and they always tell me their problems, and shit's so fucking shallow, man. Like, they talk about the most avoidable problems of all time that's just caused by nothing, actually. Nothing, literally. It's just nonsense. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying, but yeah, it's just nonsense. Yeah. And, you know, I also want to talk about, you know, what's it called? Soulmates, but I don't want to talk about it right now because that's like another topic. But yeah, I also don't agree with that idea of soulmates, but yeah. I'll see you guys some other video. No, peace out. But yeah.